New York City's The Front Office Podcast just watched the final preseason game for the Nets. I watched the Knicks too, by the way. We got shit to talk about, New York City's. Let's go. Sam. Brooklyn Nets basketball is back. How you feeling, my mains?
You know, like those moments in the movies where the person's on the other end of the line and maybe the boyfriend has great news for the girlfriend and he can hear the smile on the other side of on the other end of the phone. I feel like for anybody listening to us or for us listening to each other, you can hear you can hear and see the smiles right now, even though even though a podcast is audio. It's just you can taste it. The smiles are all over. It's unbelievable.
So Sam, I'm a married man, and I'll let you in on some secrets of married life. You walk into a room smiling. Your wife wants to know why you're smiling. Your wife wants to know. I walked past my wife. I was trying to hold my smile, and I was, going downstairs to my office to record this pod. And I walked past her, and then she looked at me, and she felt suspicious. She was like, "Why are you smiling? Who's making you smile?" Right? And then I let off this sound. That is not so. Sam, I am 6'4". I am 255 pounds of sweet chocolate loving goodness, and I'm a big man. I have a pretty good beard coming in. Besides my dorky glasses, I'm a pretty imposing man. So when I walk past my wife and my wife sees the smile on my face, sees the joy in my typically cold dead married for 20 years eyes, she was suspicious. She said, "What? Who is making you laugh? Who is giving you joy?" It was the Brooklyn Nets. But because I let out this sound, I look like I must have a side bitch that just texts me nudes. No, it wasn't that. It was just too much joy. Are you feeling the joy, Sam?
It's funny because I'm so used. Me and you were both born and bred New Yorkers, and we're used to hype because that's what happens with New York sports teams, right? It doesn't matter how much talent, how little, the stakes. You always hear and you always are feeling the hype, and usually that hype within the first 4 minutes or the first 3 innings or the first quarter of the first game, the hype wears down, and you're like, oh shit, this is going to be a long season, isn't it? And even the years when you're supposed to be good, like even the KG Paul Pierce year that I was excited for, you knew in the first game, you're like, oh god, this team is slow and this team's got big issues.
Yeah,
it
didn't look good from the beginning.
Yeah, and this was and look, they haven't played a game yet. We got the Warriors on Tuesday night, I believe, but this was the first time that I was watching something. I was like, oh my, am I going to let myself actually get optimistic right now? And I'm not going to be the pessimistic, neurotic New York fan. Am I going to let myself, and I'm so scared to, but
I've been hurt before. I've been hurt before. So have you. I know we can't be cocky. We can't say, oh, it's going to be a championship, but that looked downright dominating and we don't even know each other. That team is a team of strangers. Like, Kyrie played, and funny we should add, Kyrie played in this offense coached by Mike D'Antoni on Team USA with KD, but they've never played together as an NBA team in this particular offense, in this particular times in their career. There's no continuity. You mean to tell me that there's another gear this team can go? Isn't that like ridiculous?
I mean, yeah, like it is. Like honestly, it is. And I got to give my partner in crime a lot of credit because you've been saying since day one. You've been saying I don't know necessarily what's going to happen on defense, but I don't know how people are going to keep up with this team, and they are like they are devastating. Like there's a lot of people to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, I have my concerns about Dinwiddie, and let's go just get right into it.
Yeah,
I look at what Dinwiddie is on this team, and I wonder if they might just be overthinking it. At the same time, I don't know if Karras would be better. I think to be Karras, it's hard for him to be the very best Karras that he is with Kyrie on the court. I can admit that now, even though I want so much, bigger things for Karras. But is Dinwiddie the answer? Did that look right to you?
I mean, look, I think the elephant in the room a little bit on with this team is like what are they going to do with the excess guards and specifically between those two guys that we've been talking about now.
You broke up, kiddo, but you back? Oh. 1 second, let me bring my partner back. Okay, we lost Sam, but no worries. This is to happen in an independent podcast, but I thought for sure, what we were looking at was there he is. I thought for sure that it would be a disaster having Dinwiddie next to Kyrie. I just think, same thing as with Karras. I just think that going to the hoop with the ball in his hands and playing off ball is not necessarily Dinwiddie's strong point, but I think Boston was trying out their defense, and their players were out there, and we just took them apart. Like I can't be mad at that on offense, man. Dinwiddie looked incredible. Did you see what I saw?
Yeah, so it's interesting. What I'm just curious about with Dinwiddie is I wonder if there's a role, and I want to give a quick shout out to my dad who said this, and because I think there's an element of does it make sense for Karras to be in the starting lineup with Kyrie, so Kyrie can still play off ball because he's such a lethal shooter, and just let Dinwiddie just like handle the rock and do everything in the second unit, because he at times looked comfortable and he at times didn't look comfortable, and I wonder if he really is just like made to be a six man, because I know his shooting wasn't great today, but I think I think he does flow well and he is more adaptable than I thought, which is why I just don't know. And look, it's also hard. We have two games. They've been like scrimmaging and whatnot, and I think he knows also that he could be the odd man out on this squad. But I don't know. I mean, I feel really conflicted about him, because there's an element to me that thinks like there's an element to me that thinks Dinwiddie is the guy. I'm going to give you a situation which, as someone who's as knowledgeable about basketball as you are, and who can relate it to kind of a realistic in-game scenario. Imagine Kyrie and KD were in a playoff game and are incredibly cold.
Mm-hmm.
Dinwiddie is the guy who, when you're down 12, he brings you back to being down 4 because no one else is feeling it, and Dinwiddie is always feeling himself. And like having that guy in the playoffs helps.
Yeah, and the mentality that that guy has is incredible because Dinwiddie's not scared.
Nope,
Din,
never.
he very much so understands. I'm not Kyrie, and I'm not KD, but I'm good. And understanding that and having that belief, that's having a winning guy. Like that guy is a winning ball player. And I I saw some concerning things on defense. The matchups that smart teams are going to be able to do, like Dinwiddie gets in bad matchups sometimes because sometimes he ends up on the small forward on these switches, and I even saw him on front court players tonight. But he he handled it. I can't be mad with the way he handled it, man. Like it was pretty incredible. It really brought a smile to my face. Now, talk to me about Joe Harris. Talk to me about no conscious, no hesitation. Just walk up the court and just bust shots. Like,
I mean, he is. I mean, look, I saw. I mean, he's awesome. Like he's like there's not much else that there is to say. This is why, like we said, we had to sign him. We had to get him back. He's as integral a part of this team as anybody besides the two top dogs. Like he's like I'm kind of speechless in the sense because he gets better every single year. I think he didn't even show some of his flashes that he can show in the paint, where he can actually be pretty tough in finishing. And so it's like, I mean, he's a great net. And Kyrie just had made some post game comments about him saying like he's a flamethrower, and the Joe that we had in Cleveland when he was kind of like this G League guy was
Joe.
Regular Joe. Now he's got a tattoo and everything, and so
His hair is long, got a beard now.
he's and no, I think we should say one thing really quickly, which I think is super important, and like we'll get to Kyrie and KD because those are obviously the two men of the hour. But there's something that needs to be said, and I don't think it's talked about enough because people like to talk about like chemistry, and they like to talk about who fits and analytics, and Zach Lowe said this and this person said that. Like me and you have been watching Kyrie for his entire career. I was at the Jordan Classic when he was in high school. I watched him at Duke before he got hurt. Like we've seen his entire career, and you can see on the court that he is legitimately like happy. And I don't and know what people can say, like, like Sam, you're gonna eat your words because X, Y, or Z. Like all I can say is the way that he looks on the floor right now, I did not see when he was in Cleveland, and I did not see when he was in Boston. And he had like and I guess I'm playing body language doctor, but like he's involved in a way that I've never seen him involved in. He's in the huddles in ways I haven't seen him involved, like in like it's just it's just a totally different vibe, and I think it really does set a tone.
No, I mean, like Kyrie is burning sage, he's smoking peyote, he's Zen, like he's the new Zen master. Like I think there's something to be said about demeanor. When you're comfortable, when you're happy, when your mind is in the right place, it could spur you to do great things. I don't know if he ever felt that way about LeBron James, and for whatever reason, and based off of what Kyrie and and Kevin have, conversated